for coming to hear about the benefits of a home-based business, which is why I wanted to have something a little informal today and bring everyone into my home because, again, it's a home-based business. So I wanted to kind of share with you guys what I'm doing and some of the benefits that most people are not aware of, right? But before we get into those details, I'm going to bring up somebody who is awesome. I've known him since high school. He has come so far and grown. He has businesses. He's an entrepreneur. He's also a motivational speaker. So I thought, you know what? Who else, better than this person to come in and welcome you all today and kind of get your minds right? So then you guys can be able to receive all the information that you're receiving today, okay? So without that, I'm going to bring in AJ Vassar.
How y'all doing?
All right.
So, as she said, we've known each other since high school. I used to always mess with her in high school because I thought she was cute. But she thought I was younger than her. She was weak. She's really been a great inspiration. We talk all the time. We really bounce a lot of things off of each other. Her saying that I've come a long way is probably an understatement because 2 years ago I was actually homeless and I was sleeping in my car. And I had it was a transition that I had to make, and she was able to kind of witness all of that. So some of you may have seen me before, may have not known it. Do you watch Tyler Perry's House of Pain?
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch that show? Have y'all ever watched House of Cards? Scandal?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't on none of that. I just want to see if y'all watched
Thinking
TV.
hard. Like, what?
Yeah, no, I wasn't on none of that.
Okay. Get excited.
I just want to see if y'all watch TV.
That was good.
So, when I was actually supposed to speak at a church today, do a 2-day seminar that I typically do, but they said they didn't feel like they marketed well enough, so it got pushed back to September. So when she asked me, I was like, I can't do it because I got this event. But then when she said that when I found out it was canceled, I told her I could, and I'm a giver. I love giving. That's just my nature. That's who I am. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to come out and just share with you, give you some nuggets of what I kind of learned to get from where I was to where I am, and just what some of my mentors have showed me and taught me. So it's going to be kind of different because I'm kind of squeezed in what I do in 2 days and 15 minutes. So it's just going to be very interesting. But I think I can do it. So what I do is I'm a mental programmer. So I train people how to program themselves for success. Most of us have been programmed for failure and poverty, and we don't know it. And if we never change our programming, it doesn't matter what opportunity we're presented with, anything will always convert back to our negative programming. So I have a very interesting way of showing that you're programmed. It was interesting that we were watching the Olympics. One of my clients is actually in the Olympics right now. His name is Justin Gatlin. He runs the 100-meter dash. He won a gold medal in 2004. So I'm interested to see what he does against Usain Bolt this year. So that'll be interesting. So if he wins, I'm gonna say, it was all because of me. Let's know that right now. I'm taking all the credit. And if he loses, I'm gonna say he didn't work hard enough. So, but I do this. I'm what they call an experiential teacher. So everything I do is with experience. So what I want you to do is I'm going to show you that how we're programmed, and then I'm gonna show you how it happens. So all I want you to do is finish my phrases. I haven't talked to any of you before now, so I just want to see if you can finish my phrases. Like a good neighbor, you're in good hands with. The best part of waking up. Who sat you down and taught you that?
Nobody.
Television. Marketing.
Television.
It's called auto-suggestion.
Wow.
So what they have found out is if we say something to you enough, subconsciously you'll start picking it up. What happens is we also pick up negative things. So finish these statements for me. Money is the root of all. It takes money to make. Money doesn't grow on
Trees.
All rich people are going to.
I've actually heard that one.
Wow.
So this is really fun with church people. How many of y'all go to church? I just want to. Okay, cool. This is fun with church people because it's a passage in the book that everyone reads that says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he."
Yeah.
And if you believe that in your core, you'll never get rich because you never want to go to hell. So although we're working to get rich, we always sabotage ourselves because in our core we believe all rich people are going to hell. And as long as you believe that it takes money to make money, money don't grow on trees, but it's paper, so it does grow. It just don't grow on trees, it grows on a plant. But as long as you keep that thought process, you'll never be rich. So what I do is I teach people how to change their thought process because once you change the thought process, you become rich. People say all the time, the rich get rich and the poor get
Poor.
Okay, but why is that? Because it's not because of money.
Mindset.
It's because of programming. It's your program. So, as I told you, I'm a giver. I've been a giver my whole life. One of my favorite scriptures, I love the Bible. I don't shy away from that. I love that. That's where I get most of my training. But one of my favorite scriptures is, "Given it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall man given to your bosom." Like, that's one of the famous scriptures in the Bible. So what's interesting about that is people say it all the time, but then they don't actually understand it. So I have a question for you. Who wants $100?
Me? I take it. It's real, right? Not
No,
real.
it's real.
Okay, I'll take it. Oh, I guess I need to come get it. Wow.
That's all. Nobody went.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
Sure, $100. Who all could have used $100? Why didn't you get up and get it?
Wow.
See, in life, what happens is a lot of times we're programmed not to act. So we'll see an opportunity, we'll see something before us, and we're programmed not to act. Now, before I asked if anybody wanted, I preface that by saying I'm a giver. So I had already set you up to know I was about to give. But most people, when they hear the script drops and say, "Give and it shall be given unto you," they're thinking selfishly. But there's a part in that scripture that says, "And men shall give into your bosom." I was a man and I just offered to give. But even when I offered it, it was a real uncomfortable moment before somebody actually got up and took action. Which is why I was sleeping out of my car for a while, because I would never take action. But once I learned the difference of programming and taking action, it changed my life. And now I'm able to give away money. I hate when people come in and they say how well they're doing, but then they don't ever help out. So I said, if I ever got in that position, I would never be that guy. I would always show and show through actions. Because when I was homeless, I used to always, when somebody would ask if I wanted $100, I swear I would tackle them. I swear I got that money. So my question, and I'm gonna do this really quickly, is because even though you got it, you hesitated. So my question, I like doing this. So why didn't you get up and get it?
Well, my first thought was her hammer at first. You know, I didn't feel like I needed $100. You know, I could use it, but I just didn't feel like I needed it. So, you know.
Okay. What about you?
Kind of the same thing. You said, who needs $100? My mind was like, well, I don't need $100. Of course, everybody wants $100, but the need to have it, it wasn't just there for me. So I was just like, somebody's gonna get it. And I also thought, you said, who needs $100? I thought maybe it was like well, this is what you have to do. You know, maybe there's like a game or whatever to go with it to get the $100. But then you just stood there, and I was like, oh, she wants you to get the $100. She got up, and that was great.
How did you do?
I wasn't sure if it was genuine.
Why did it take you long to get up?
She was like, I got the money. Got the $100.
No, I needed it. I really did.
So why did it take you a while to get up? Why did it take you a second to move? Pride. Okay. What about you?
I observe everything, so I don't feel the presence.
Okay. Okay. So?
I guess kind of like them. I don't need it, but I was just observing as well to see.
Oh, I need it badly. But you never see anyone just giving away money, so I thought that it was just to teach us something. I didn't think you were giving $100. I would have right into the water.
That's my cousin, by the way. And she you see, we tacklers. It wasn't no more.
I was late.
Lazy? Wasn't.
Oh, I got up. She got there before me.
Okay. So what I had to learn from my mentors. Oh, why didn't you get up again?
Same thing as your cousin. I just thought it was just, part of the presentation and it was fake money. I should have realized it was real money and I probably would have been related to you and tackled everybody.
Okay. So what I had to learn from my mentors is whatever stopped me from getting up and getting that money is the same that stops me from getting up and getting my money.
Wow.
And a lot of times it's everything you just said. Pride, I didn't need it, I was lazy. Because honestly, the money is out there. There is no shortage of money. There at all. The money's out there. We just won't get it. Because we've been programmed not to move, not to act. Like I've given away $300 in churches before, and people are terrified to death to get up and come get money. But it's like you're so quick to give it as it comes around. Why are you scared to go receive it? And a lot of times is we've been programmed. So what I do is I take people through, like we have to start, if we want to change our lives, we have to change our program. Our brain is like a computer. Whatever our program is set to be, that's where we'll stay. That's why you can never outdo your personal development. Your income will never succeed your personal development. That's why if you win the lottery, your money always go back down to your personal development. Because if you aren't here with your programming, you're gonna find a way to sabotage yourself. So once I learned that, even at being homeless, it changed everything in my life because I realized all I had to do was go get it, because I'm about to get this door. Is it going away? All right. AJ. Nice to meet you. You got my money?
Mike, you talk about outside?
Oh, that's how I feel when I see people. So that's my programming now. When I meet people, when I'm doing deals, although I'm going to help, I'm always thinking, do you got my money? You have my money? Because I know within myself, I'm going to give you more value than you give me money. And as long as I always do that, money will always circulate to me. To me, money is just, I always substitute money with value. Money is a 5-letter word, value is a 5-letter word. They're interchangeable. And as long as I'm giving a lot of value, I can always get a lot of money. Hey, you might not want to be late next time. I just gave out $100. No vessels. So the one thing that I would say, I'm not gonna be long. I just wanted to come up here and really just share kind of, like I said, it takes me 2 days to typically teach this. I'm doing it 15 minutes. But yeah, change your program. You have to change your program. Find some type of coach. Not any coach, but find some type of coach. Coaching has been so vital to me now. I spend more in coaching per month than I spend on my living expenses. Because that's how much money coaching makes me. Every famous athlete in the world, the best, all have had coaches. And they have more than one. They have a head coach, they have a position coach, they have a drill coach, they have a fitness coach, they have a health coach. They have coaches for every area in their life that they want to improve in. So find a coach. And last but not least, don't sabotage yourself from taking advantage of an opportunity. Like I hope the demonstration idea sticks with you for the rest of your life. Because honestly, even this is what I found out the most. Because I got in a position like you where I was like, well, I don't actually need $100. You'll find out rich people are the quickest to get up. If you ever offer them $100, they're gonna take it. Because they understand I always need $100. Because then that's just less money that I have to flip myself personally. So there's a difference between in desperate need and need. We all need it. You know, you could, even if you didn't need it personally, you could have taken that same money, went down and fed 100 people. You know, so as soon as we change our mindset, as soon as we reprogram ourselves for success, like our life takes an upward spiral just because. And just to let you guys know, getting out of poverty, I didn't get any handouts. Actually, one of my mentors, makes $140,000 a month. And when I told him I was poor, I was thinking about going home, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to Texas and live with my mother until I get back on my feet. And he was like, no, you're not. Like, you're a man. He said, I have a safe parking lot you can sleep in. And he told me I can sleep outside his building that he owned, but he wouldn't. He said I would learn more during that period about being successful and reprogram myself than I ever would with him giving me money. And I'm so glad today he didn't try to pay my way out of it, because him making me sleep in my car changed my life. So change the programming, change your mindset, and don't miss opportunities. Don't be in your own way. And I'm done.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but let's give him another round of applause. I'm not even sure what I was expecting, but that was awesome, right? So I guess now we realize how programmed we really are. And everything that he said, with the exception of one of those, I was like, okay, yeah, I know that one. I was like, no, I don't know where that's from. But just like everyone else in this room, I was like, okay, yeah, Allstate. All right, State Farm. All right, all these other things. So it's kind of crazy that we don't realize how programmed we really are, right? But I was able to, I guess, get out of my own self-programming, which is why I stepped out and started my home-based business, right? Has it been tough? Yes. Has it been awesome? Yes. So glad that I've done it, right? So let's talk about that. All right, so let's talk about some of those benefits of that home-based business that you hear about, that you hear that people do. Even millionaires have, home-based businesses because there's just so many benefits in it. But why don't we take advantage of that, right? I didn't do it for a long time because of what? Fear, number one. I didn't think I was, worth it or worthy, or I could do it, but it's just like anything else. So one of the benefits is extra income. 2 jobs are for 2 people, but I'm not gonna lie. A year ago, I was that person, right? I had like 3 jobs. And a couple people, maybe 4. A couple people can attest to that in this room, right? So whenever I needed extra money, what would I do? I would go out and get another job, all right? Because that was, to me, the only reason, that was the only way I can get more money. Go out and get another job. No, home-based business. I don't have to do that anymore, right? And now I have the opportunity to be a little bit more creative, right? In corporate America, at least my corporate America, I'm not allowed to allow my creative juices to kind of flow, right? When you get to work, you're supposed to do certain things, right? X, Y, Z, you can't be creative because that goes outside of how things are supposed to be. Because you know why? Things have always been done this way. Why would you do that? So now I've been kind of like, my creative genes have been dormant for so long. So now this is like, yes, I can get, creative again, right? Because when you have a home-based business, you have the opportunity to do and however you want, however you want to have your business, you can do that, right? So what about networking, right? Every person I come in contact with is a potential client. Everybody, and you never know. I may need this person down the line. They may need my services down the line. This may be someone who I can learn from, or like you said, a potential mentor in the future. So it's not just me going out and, how you go to those little networking events. I know y'all been, so this is Atlanta. Oh, hey, how you doing? Here's my business card. No. So when I go out now, I actually talk to people, with intent that we will be business partners, clients, whatever in the future. All right? So having a home-based business also gives you options. So most people go to work, 40 hours a week, more than 40 hours a week, all right, in their offices, in their cubicles, down cubicle row. So if you want to, your option is, you know what, I have my laptop. Where do I want to go work today? Right? Do I want to go to Starbucks? Do I want to go lay on the beach? Where do I want to work today? Oh, you know what? My unborn child is somewhere playing softball right now. I have my laptop, so I'm going to be there supporting, but also working with my laptop, right? So now you have options. What about time? This first one, no more asking permission. So when I go full-time with my home-based business, I I will not have to ask someone else, hey, can I go see my family for 2 days? Hey, I'm sorry, someone just passed in my family. May I take some time off? Hey, I need that vacation. Oh, I can't go because you're going on vacation that week. I mean, you just have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more time. Those are things that kind of make my life a little bit better with home-based business, because in the future I won't have to ask that because I have my own business, right? Working from my home. All right, so family. So you can now have this as a family business as well. And we can kind of go into those tax benefits with that a little later. But now with your family, you have that opportunity to expose and teach them entrepreneurship, right? Because they're going to see you, you know, they learn from what you're currently doing, right? So how many people in the room have kids? Okay, right. So they learn exactly what you're doing, how you're doing. They're very observant, right? So my niece, she is 11 months. Actually, she'll be a year old in 2 weeks, right? Everything that we do or say, what is she doing? Repeating, right? She's repeating everything. So everyone, your family is there watching you, right? So whatever you're doing, you know, you have to be able to expose them to that goodness. So if you're watching TV all day, what are your kids going to be doing? What is your family going to be doing? Watching TV. But if they see you on that laptop working, oh, what are you doing? You know, my nephew, he is 7 years old. So earlier this year, I told him, I was like, you know what? Let's do something different. His name is Nicholas. I was like, hey, you want to bike this summer? He was like, yeah. And I was like, well, how about we start a business? He's like, what you talking about? You know, he's like, you know, this kid mind. So we're talking, I was like, well, how many of your classmates like candy? He was like, well, all of them. I was like, he was like, I like candy too. I was like, well, how about if we made extra money and we started a candy store? He was like, ooh, I like that. How do we do it? He was ready. Like, okay, how do we do it, TT? I'm TT, yeah. You know, I'm TT. Like, how do we do it? So he was excited. Like, what? Like, I can get money from selling candy? So, like, we started coming with this whole thing. And my brother, unfortunately, I was unable to be there because I'm still corporate America. But my brother sent me a picture of his candy store in school. So that just made me proud because now I know he's listening. He's like, okay, there are other options. It's not just, you know, going to work. I can start something myself and create income from things that people already love. You know, okay, so what is out there? You know, people already love it, right? So in tax benefits. So again, I have nieces and nephews. I don't currently have any kids, but having this home-based business, I am so glad is now my new child because the taxes that I have been able to lower my tax liability has been awesome. All right. So anything that I'm doing, like this, everything that I purchased today, even though I didn't purchase a lot, you know, is now tax deductible. All right. My household bills are no longer bills; they're expenses. My light, my water, my rent, all this. I'm deducting that now because this is a business expense because I'm operating out of my business now. Excuse me, out of my home now. So everything here, you know, if I were to get the carpet clean, which I probably need to, if I were to get that clean, that is now a business expense, right? Because now when I have people over, it's maintenance of my home office. All right, so that $200-300 is now a business expense. All right, but I have someone here, you know, Misty Lane, and I want her to just share her experience. She started a home-based business last year, and I want her to come up to the front and share her. She's also a tax professional. All right, I want her to share her experience of how you benefited from your taxes last year. We started your home-based business.
Okay, well, I make 6 figures on my full-time job. I work for CDC in Atlanta. Like it. I'm a human resource information systems IT specialist. So I work from home and everything else. The job is very fun.
Some people in the back can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I don't know, I guess because I've been in the library today. I just came from another presentation and I was at the library, so I had to be kind of quiet. So, let me start over. Okay, so yes, I make pretty good money. I made 6 figures on my full-time job. But it took me 17 years to get there. So 17 years to make 6 figures. Go figure, right?
Right. Yay! The American dream.
Right. I have 2 kids. My daughter's 21. My son, he'll be 16, August 15th.
Congratulations.
So my daughter, she's in school full time. I have to pay her tuition this semester out of my pocket. She was in a real bad car wreck last year, so she had to have an emergency withdrawal, all this stuff. So anyway, I have a lot of stuff I have to pay out. So that job does pay a lot of things, but there's nothing like more money, right? And having options. Didn't want to pull out money out of my 401k to have to pay for it. So, and I didn't want to work a second and third job. And what that second and third job does for me, which I did have to do it for a while because I liked it, which is my tax professional that I do, which is seasonal. I used to work for Jackson Hewitt every year because that's, I did my internship. But anyway, I would work for Jackson Hewitt 4 months out of the year, which means I'm away from home. So and I worked 7 days for 4 months for Jackson Hewitt. I didn't want to keep doing it because my son is getting older. I'm not leaving a teenager in my home that long ever again. So when this was presented to me from my upline about having a home-based business, it just made sense to me because I looked at other opportunities. I looked at blogging. I can't blog because of my federal job. Products, selling, I don't think I'm a good salesman. I'm an excellent salesman, but not a salesman. But having a home-based business, whatever your choice of having a home-based business is your choice, but the benefits are awesome. I chose this travel industry because I love to travel. So based on my experience of having a home-based business from a travel business perspective, last year alone, I was only in the business for about 9 months, and I was able to write out $30,000.
Wow.
So people don't even make that in a year. So, and I didn't do that. And that was things I wanted to do anyway. Pay my mortgage, pay my light bill, pay my cable bill. So things I want to do anyway. Having a home-based business, I put a sign on my car. Now I'm able to write out 54 cents a mile to my job because I'm working. I'm on my phone.
And you're advertising?
I'm advertising my business because I got that sign on my car. I just so happen to be going to my full-time job. So I get to claim those miles on the business side. So when you add all that up, people do sleep on the mileage because they're like, I don't want to track that. Nope, just keep up with your oil change receipts. That's what I do. It has your miles on there. When you need your oil changes, that's one way to do it. Don't sleep on the miles. A lot of money in the mileage. So with all that, home, running my business, internet, cable, 30,000 last year. All these trips I'm gonna take this year. I've traveled somewhere every month on purpose because I like to travel, and they all now are 100% tax write-off. So.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. So I don't know about her, but I didn't do 30,000, but I got to write off 19, which was nice because, for the first year in a very, very, very long time, I had a plentiful refund sheet, right? So I was very happy about that, and I still have some of that money. So. Yes. Spend it, don't save it. Just save it, don't spend it. Excuse me. But one of the things that I liked that Misty Lang said was that her business allowed her to not be away from her family as much, right? So, and then again, everything, her cell phone, mortgage, all these things, now an expense, tax write-off, right? So with that being said, I've introduced you to some of the benefits of a home-based business. I kind of want to introduce you to the home-based business that I am currently in, so just so I can give you a little exposure to some of the home-based businesses that are out there. So give me like 2 seconds so I can set this up, right? Or actually, so whenever you have your own home-based business, you literally have the world in your hands. Because again, you can be wherever you are. As long as you have your laptop, you can work, right? So that is a huge benefit of having a home-based business. And again, when you go out to eat, wherever I go out to eat, I leave my business card because I'm going to ask the waiter something, and then I'm going to leave because I'm in pursuit of profit, writing that meal on everything, all right? So the business that I'm currently involved in is travel, right? Some of the benefits with travel is I get to write off 100% of my travel. like Miss Elaine mentioned. All right. Again, my business hours or whatever I create for myself. I'm at home, so if I had my niece and my nephew over here, I can still work and still be watching them at least a little bit of time. All right, and I have can travel like an insider. I have so many benefits to being in the travel industry, like so many benefits, you know. And I'll go into a little bit more detail with that. So give me 2 seconds while I switch presentations, and then I can tell you a little bit more about the business that I'm in, travel. Switch that out.